Hello everybody and welcome to your weekend preview for the 2020 Italian Grand Prix. A weekend where usually we have the Tifosi left, right and centre as we have sort of a party in the park atmosphere here at the Cathedral of Speed. Sadly, only 250 fans will be in attendance. They are doctors and nurses, as Ferrari want to put a light on all of the hospital workers that are fighting this pandemic for us as well. It's a truly remarkable circuit and we're having a truly remarkable season. Almost like when Michael Schumacher won his 7th world title in 2004, Lewis Hamilton is seeming undefeated this year. Only Valtteri Bottas and Max Verstappen have one victory each in the 7 races, 5 of them going to Lewis Hamilton. Let's take a look at the calendar, the drivers and the Constructors' Championship. We move away from Belgium just 7 days ago to the Cathedral of Speed, the fastest track on the calendar. Welcome to Monza in Italy. It's our next step on the calendar. After this, it's the Ferrari's 1000th Grand Prix before we head off to Russia, and then starts the Grand Prix running with the Eiffel Grand Prix and the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix coming up, as well as the Portuguese Grand Prix. Watch out for that one. Following back, we will then have the Turkish Grand Prix, 2 races in Bahrain, 1 on the outer circuit, and rounding out the season, of course, in Abu Dhabi. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, Lewis Hamilton leads the way for Max Verstappen and Valtteri Bottas. It seems to be a 3-way fight in the championship. The battle in the midfield is heating up, with Ocon rounding out the top 10. On the second page, it's still Carlos Sainz, Gasly, Vettel, Hülkenberg still. No points on the board. Raikkonen, Latifi, Russell or Grosjean. In the Constructors' Championship, Mercedes lead the way, 264 points. The battle to be third between McLaren, Racing Point and Ferrari, with Renault joining the battle. Haas on 1 point, Williams still to score points coming into one of the fastest tracks of the season. It's the Thursday weekend preview for the Italian Grand Prix. Welcome to Monza. Well, we start off this weekend preview with some expected news, but it still hits home hard. It is announced that the Williams family will be stepping aside from running the Formula One team after this weekend's Italian Grand Prix. It's shocked everybody, but it was a move that was rumoured last weekend in the paddock and now seems to have finally actually taken place. Claire Williams, the deputy team principal since 2013 at Williams, will step aside this weekend after the Italian Grand Prix. A new board of directors will be brought in as well. More news on them will be in tomorrow's Free Practice 1 live session. However, it also means, more sadly, the fact that this will be Frank Williams' last official race as team principal of Williams, the longest serving team principal in Formula One history. 51 years now. He has been in Formula One as well. I strongly urge you all to go back and watch the 50th anniversary special we made of Frank Williams last year here on the YouTube channel. And we hoped that we'd have better times ahead. But it seems that we are going to get that, but it would not be with the Williams family for the time being, which is heartbreaking in itself. So, this is the last weekend that the Williams family will be involved in the team. The new owners of the sport, however, have agreed that they will keep racing under the Williams name. They understand the legacy completely, so the Williams name will still be in Formula One. The family, however, will not be running it. It's sad, very much so, but it's great that we still get the team to live on going forward, and I hope Sir Frank has a fantastic weekend ahead of him. Moving on to some other aspects here that we'll talk more about, of course, in the Free Practice 1 live session with Ian Birch, who's alongside me in the commentary box this weekend. Megan Birch not with us this weekend, once again. But what we're also going to talk about is the fact that this is the first weekend we're going to have in Formula One for quite a number of years that will not have the party modes. So basically what that is that all the teams turn their engines up to 11 effectively, get 4 fast laps. That's equal to about a race distance in that engine. So they're going to be limited to one mode in qualifying and the race going forward. So it's going to provide a little bit more, hopefully, of a balanced setup for Formula One going forward. We'll keep our hopes up and we'll see what that is. We'll talk more about that, of course, in FP1 going forward. But this circuit is the Cathedral of Speed. It's got the highest top speed on the calendar as well. It's also the shortest race of the year in terms of time. In fact, the lap record here was set in 2004, then beaten in 2018 by Kimi Raikkonen. Another factor is as well, back in 2003, this track set the fastest ever race record in terms of time of a 1 hour 13 minute race. We could get that beaten this weekend. Perfect conditions and the fastest ever generation of cars. So this could be something to watch this weekend as well. It's not going to go well for Ferrari though, is it? We'll get more on that after this as we take a look though, first of all, with Ferrari in last year's lap attack. Let's take a look around Monza, the Cathedral of Speed. 11 turns, 5.793 kilometres, 3.599 miles. Only 2 chicanes separate one of the fastest circuits in the world. It's important to start the lap well. Get a very good exit out of the last corner of the Parabolica. Open up the DRS across the control line and start the lap. 8th gear, flat out max, as you hurtle down towards the first gear braking zone of the Rettifilo. Hard on the brakes all the way down into first gear. Right, left, get the power on at the exit and boot it hard as you come to the Curva de Sol before the chicane number 2. Full throttle up now, pull 8th gear mid-corner, catch the oversteer at the exit before you come into the second part of the chicane. Hard on the brakes again, 3rd gear, throw the car in late, trust you've got the grip before you come into the 2 Lesmo corners. Hard on the brake, 4th gear, ride the exit curve as you come into Lesmo 2, a banked section of the track. Take as much curb as you can on the entrance and the exit in order to straight line for the DRS board. Coming under the old section now, the old banking part of the 1960s track before you come into Ascari. One of the fastest segments, of course. Flip the car, 5th gear, full power now as you head down the back straightaway towards the Parabolica once again. 1:21.046 is the lap record for this track, set by Kimi Raikkonen. Into the Parabolica, flick the car in, get the power on gradually about halfway through, and then just carry it, build the speed up, 7th gear, and then 8th gear even before you need the DRS to complete a lap of Monza. It's a wonderful circuit, and I keep saying that, but we're visiting some gems this year going forward. But this circuit does hold a special place in my heart, as I'm sure it does for every Formula One fan. It is Ferrari's racetrack. It's their 999th Grand Prix. It's also their first of 3 on Italian soil this year. Of course, next weekend, we're off to Mugello for the very first time. We're all very excited about that. And then, of course, in the 31st of October and the 1st of November, the 2-day event at Imola is going to be absolutely fantastic as well. We've got a few gems coming up as well, but talk quickly about Ferrari. And the fact is that they are not looking good coming into this weekend, are they? Admit it, if you're a Ferrari fan, you saw last weekend very painful. I found it painful commentating on it. All of the Ferrari cars outside the top 10. Kimi Raikkonen beating them both. A customer Alfa Romeo beating the main factory cars of Ferrari was unheard of. So a lot has got to be done, but it seems like they're going to have a lot more harder work here this weekend. This is a low downforce circuit. It's a high speed circuit. And unfortunately, the Ferrari doesn't seem to run well. How well would the ban on qualifying modes really help them? It's a guessing game, but we'll talk more about that in Free Practice 1 later on. So, let's go on then to talk about the predictions for this weekend. Well, it's a dry race weekend, no chance of rain coming in either, followed by the fact that we've got Mercedes and Red Bull pretty much on a level playing field. We saw rumours of it in Spa, but the tyres are still the question. Here in Italy, I'm expecting we're going to see Red Bull right up there with Max Verstappen. And of course, Bottas versus Hamilton's a lot closer. This hasn't been Hamilton's greatest circuit, of course. He's only won here here a couple of times compared to the rest of it. This circuit mainly suits the Mercedes when it's running well. We don't think they've got up to grips yet with the high-speed nature of their car. We saw last weekend as well. Yes, they were dominant in qualifying, but they turned the engine up to 11. Before that, we're seeing Renault cropping up in the top 3 order. We saw in FP2, Verstappen was going quick as well. Anything is up for grabs this weekend, so don't turn off. It's going to be a good one. Right, here's your coverage details for this weekend. We are live for a free practice one as always at 9:55 UK time. That's British summer time as well. In the evening at 8 o'clock we'll have the Friday practice review. On Saturday at 1:30 will be the third practice review. Sunday at 1:30 as well will be the Sunday race preview show, and then at Sunday at 8 o'clock we will have the Sunday race review. A reminder as well that next weekend for the Mugello Grand Prix, the Tuscany race, Ferrari 1000th Grand Prix, we will be live all throughout the weekend with watch-along coverage next weekend in Tuscany, Mugello. That's something that will be a special treat as well, and Megan Birch returns to the commentary box for that. So, join us for free practice one at 9:55 on Friday. But from us all here, take care, have a good night. Bye for now.